The U.S. military struck 3 sites in Iran early Sunday, directly joining Israel's war aimed at decapitating the country's nuclear program in a risky gambit to weaken a longtime foe amid Tehran's threat of reprisals that could spark a wider regional conflict. According to Associated Press, President Donald Trump was the first to disclose the strikes. There was no immediate acknowledgement from the Iranian government. Iran's state-run IRNA news agency reported that attacks targeted the country's Fordo, Isfahan and Natanz nuclear sites. The agency did not elaborate. The decision to directly involve the U.S. in the war comes after more than a week of strikes by Israel on Iran that aimed to systematically eradicate the country's air defenses and offensive missile capabilities, while damaging its nuclear enrichment facilities. But U.S. and Israeli officials have said that American stealth bombers and the 30,000-pound bunker buster bomb they alone can carry offered the best chance of destroying heavily fortified sites connected to the Iranian nuclear program buried deep underground. "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan," Trump said in a post on social media. "All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home."
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades.
Saeed Azadi, the head of the Palestinian division in the IRGC Quds Force, was killed in an Israeli strike on an apartment in the Iranian city of Qom, Defense Minister Israel Katz said. Katz said Azadi funded and armed Hamas ahead of the October 7th massacre. A huge achievement for Israeli intelligence and the Israeli Air Force. Justice for the murdered and the hostages. Israel's long arm will reach all its enemies, he added. Earlier this year, Katz revealed an intelligence document showing that then Hamas leaders Yahya Sinwar and Mohammed Deif had sent a letter to Iran's IRGC Quds Force commander Esmail Khani in June 2021, seeking support for the terror group's plans to invade Israel, which were ultimately carried out on October 7, 2023. In the document, the Hamas leaders ask of the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Quds Force to transfer $500 million for destroying the State of Israel, Katz said. Azadi accepted the request and replied to them that Iran, despite its difficult economic situation and the plight of the Iranian population, will continue to funnel money to Hamas, because the struggle against Israel and the US is the top priority of the Iranian regime, Katz said at the time. Besides, Israel Defense Forces has announced that the country's Air Force has killed the commander of the 2nd Drone Brigade of the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Air Force, Amin-Pour Jadaki. The Israeli Air Force struck and killed Amin-Pour Jadaki, commander of the 2nd Drone Brigade of the IRGC Air Force, the IDF statement reads. It is noted that Jadaki took up the position after the IDF killed former commander of the 2nd UAV Brigade of the IRGC Air Force, Tahir Pour, on June 13 and oversaw hundreds of UAV attacks on Israeli territory from the Awaz region in southwestern Iran. Iranian media reported that 11 members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps were killed during Israeli attacks. 11 IRGC members were killed during an Israeli airstrike on the city of Bastinabad, the report said. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, announced on Saturday that Behnam Shahriari, a commander of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, SIPA, was killed in western Iran, over 1,000 kilometers from Israel's border. Video footage circulated in X shows the moment of the strike on the vehicle purportedly carrying Shahriari. In a statement on its official X account, the IDF identified Shahriari as the commander of the Quds Forces Arms Transfer Unit, and the key figure responsible for funneling weapons, rockets, and funds to Iranian proxy groups including Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. His elimination reportedly cripples Iran's regional operations and severely disrupts its allies' capacity to rearm following Israeli counterstrikes. Earlier, Israeli Defense Ministry reported that its military killed Saeed Azadi, a veteran commander in the IRGC during a strike in an apartment in Iran's Qom province. There has been no confirmation from the IRGC on the killing of the two commanders.